the day since police made this tragic discovery, the Delphi community has been coming to terms, I should say, with a painful reality. Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally went back to the scene of the crime today, where neighbors still don't understand how this could happen to two young girls. Dave?
As police continue a very methodical investigation here, going down every road in the search for clues, some folks who live near the crime scene, they fear that their road will never be the same. The crime scene Thursday, a place property owner Ron Logan knows well, but never thought he would know for something so tragic.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it. It's so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me yet.
Up and down the hills, across that bank now circled with crime tape, his son grew up playing here.
Never in your wildest dreams do you think if he comes down here to play, he won't come back home.
He and his friends grieve for the victims, Liberty German and Abigail Williams, both 13.
That's why we come back. And I want to show you what it looks like. You couldn't carry someone up and down these hills. It's hard to walk by yourself.
We've been able to identify almost everybody else that's been on that trail, and this gentleman has not been identified, and we want to know what he saw, what he might have seen on the trail. Did he see somebody else that maybe some of the others didn't see?
The Sheriff's Department says the trail photos of the man released Wednesday have brought in about 200 tips, and they're checking every one of them, they say. Police want to talk to the man because he was on the trail about the same time as the victims.
I think they feel confident that we're going to get this guy or guys that were involved in this, and I think they're feeling confident that it's going to happen sooner than later.
Back at the crime scene, hoping for answers.
This place is never going to be the same. It'll never be the same. I mean, everybody will be. They'll be very vigilant now, and from here on out when they come down here.
All right, that's David McAnally tonight in Delphi. Now, here's another look at the man police are so desperate to talk to. Again, they have not said he's a suspect or a person of interest. Instead, investigators believe that he is the only person they haven't identified who was in the area at that time. Now, if you were in the area that day or you know anything that can help solve this case, police do want to hear from you. They've set up a new tip line for information about the murders of Libby and Abby. All tips should be called into that number, and you can remain anonymous. You see it right there on your screen. The number is 844-459-5786.
right, welcome. Let's do a sound check. All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here today. Today is Friday, the 13th of March. That's 313. Now, unfortunately, yesterday was 213, so today, I'm sorry, 312. So today is 313, Friday the 13th of March. And we're going to do some woo tonight. And I would like to welcome everyone in for our woo stream. And I think you guys will enjoy it. There's really fascinating points that we're going to bring out, and it should be fun. And it's a Friday night, so I'm glad to see everyone as usual. So welcome in, and I want to say hello to everyone in here before we start, and then I'll let you know what we're getting into, and it's going to be fascinating. Trust me. So first, let's go all the way on back. And I'm going to say hello to those as quickly as possible who were here early, like my main ma Deb. Okay, also Critter Mama, David Rogers, Nicole Watt, Cat the Taurus, Mandy Boo, Maria Alma, Old Mort, New Mort. We got Anarch, Victims News on Air, Dirty Diana. Everyone go check out her stream from last night. It was really good, entertaining. Rebecca Ann's here. Hello, Rebecca. Carol's here. What's up, Carol? Also, ACV. Hello, ACV. All right. Goddess is here. Author Claremont. Sinbar. And I'm having a little problem with my vision tonight. Excuse me. It's not the clearest. Silenced is here. Grizzly is here. Somewhat, he says. Oh, hey, Christina is here. Good to see you. Matt Payton, welcome. And everyone, welcome. Even if you're on the replay, welcome to the replay. Please leave comments down below. I'll be so glad to see you. All right. In all honesty, I'm not feeling my best, but we're going to get started and keep on trucking regardless. But I'm so happy to see you all. And look, this has been a daily thing where we're working out some kinks in the program here on a daily basis. And so there's a lot going on, half of which I'm not even going to mention or tell you about, but there's a lot going on. So please be patient, bear with us. But I'm glad to see everyone. And like I said, tonight, Friday the 13th, we're gonna do some little spell casting on the evil haters and perpetrators of this crime, and turn this date against them. And luckily, it's not October 13th, because you guys know the whole Friday the 13th story goes all the way back to October 13th. Anyhow, the interesting thing here is that this case has been just chocked full of symbolism, as all of you very well should know, whether it be from the mainstream media, from the authorities, from the judge, from all of the chaos agents operating online. And by that, I mean all the CIs working for the Indiana State Police and prosecutor, and the PR team working for the prosecutor's office, and all of this. State money is unlimited, as you all know. So these state monies and these state contracts with the CIs, they're very deep pockets. So there's so many out here, as I've said before, who are silencing, who are trying to steer the narrative, who are trying to terrorize anyone who is revealing the concerning things that should not be revealed in the Delphi case, that it's just a daily battle to try to fight off all of that and shake it all off and keep on trucking. Anyhow, regardless, the amount of spell casting black magic that goes on with these people trying to basically sabotage our well-being and our motivation on this case to keep talking is very, very strong. But luckily, there are those of us who we fall onto the things that matter to us. And for me, that's Jesus Christ. And for others, that's other things. But that which keeps us strong makes us impervious to these attacks and these relentless rounds of attacks. So with that being said, I thought it'd be interesting tonight to go into some of this otherworldly stuff, because whether you agree or not, it's very clear to me that this case has a cloud of otherworldliness, okay? A dark cloud of otherworldliness hanging over it, okay? Now, that's very concerning because the energy is so thick, so heavy, and so dark, and it makes you wonder, as I've constantly repeated, the murders of two girls, okay, happens all the time on a daily basis. Well, why in this case? Why these girls? Why this case? Why this particular narrative? So it's concerning. And another thing I pointed out recently is, have you noticed the complete lack of public criticism on this case? Have you? Have you noticed this loud criticism that you used to hear a year or two ago regarding the egregious constitutional violations, the cloud of darkness cast over this case, the lack of transparency, the abuses of the investigators in this case, the sheriff in this case, the prosecutor in this case, the entire unified command, the railroading of Richard Allen, the destruction of evidence, all those highly concerning pieces. Do you realize that you don't hear anyone any longer loudly blasting all of that concerning information? I said recently that all you hear these days is the attempts to discredit the independent voices. And in some cases, it has proved successful, which is why they continue it. So all of the people who've been frightened off this case motivate the people who are doing this to continue their behaviors, to continue attempting to frighten people off this case. However, there's some of us who ain't playing that game, and so we won't be bullied off this case. And when I said that I'm going to be stepping back from this case, it didn't mean completely. It means that it's no longer going to be my complete focus, because I feel that we've achieved a great place here in this Delphi public investigation, which, however you want to look at it, was facilitated or really helped to be brought about by one Reese Davis, who just a month ago I platformed in terms of blowing this shit completely wide open. And I've said to you all that we feel very good about where this is. Now, listen, I also said it's not the end of the road. It's just the opening of a book, right? It's the opening of the book. This is the beginning of us reaching some truth on the case. There's still a long way to go. So for anyone in the sound of my voice, I would encourage you, keep digging, okay? Keep listening. Take Reese's revelations about what Ron Logan and Keegan Kline revealed to him or said to him, their statements, and you use that as a starting place. That's the first page of the book. So we still have a lot of pages to turn, but I think we're in a good place. We're off on the right foot. And that's where I feel the public should be looking, and that's where I feel the public should be heading. Okay, we need to be headed in the right direction. And the right direction is multiple third-party perpetrators, half of whom were mentioned in the Franks memorandum, half of whom were not, but were mentioned in other filings. These third-party perpetrators certainly committed this crime. Richard Allen has been wrongfully accused and wrongfully convicted for this crime, serving a symbolic 130 years. That's 1-3 plus 0 sentence for this crime. The arrest and conviction of Richard Allen was intended to make this case go away so no one looks at who actually committed the crime. And what's absolutely appalling about that is that these killers of these girls walk free. And as you all know, that is no justice. But as I mentioned, Reese Davis opened the door, the proper door for us to walk through and start looking into, which is that Keegan Kline, Ron Logan, and several others killed these girls. They utilized social media to target these girls. There was the involvement of CSAM, of photographs and video of these girls, which likely still exist out there in the dark web, by the way, as this material was meant to be sold. And with all of this going on, just think about it. The jury heard none of it because there was a judge in place who was set there in order to facilitate this cover-up. And that's absolutely unacceptable because the judge ensured, in collusion with the prosecutor and law enforcement, that the jury would never hear a piece of this truth so that they could never make the proper decision regarding Richard Allen. And where is all the noise? Where is all the outrage on the internet about this now? Because here we are, more than a year and a half later, and it's a ghost town. It's as if everyone has given up and is going to allow this to stand. And I point towards the jurors and I say, hey, we don't blame you. No one is blaming the jurors. It's not your fault that the judge and the prosecutor and law enforcement did not allow you to hear the entire story. And it's also not your fault that they destroyed evidence, that they withheld evidence, and it's not your fault that they contaminated the jury. You were not to blame for the wrong decision that you made operating with a lack of information. So with that being said, I want to implore the jurors who might happen to hear this, speak your mind. Maybe it's time for you to step forward and express your outrage that you were used to convict a man who had nothing to do with this crime in order to bury the truth about this case so that the perpetrators, and more than that, the Dropbox and the individuals tied to that Dropbox, walk free. Remember, jurors, this is an Epstein-level cover-up, okay? It's an Epstein-level cover-up, however, on a state level, not on the federal level or international level. So we're dealing with a microcosm of the Epstein. And if you start to understand that, you understand what's going on in this case. Anyhow, with that being said, I want to get into the body of the show tonight because this is going to be fascinating. I found this very fascinating. I've seen this some time ago, and I've been waiting to share this with you all because it's food for thought. Okay, it's food for thought. And We've done some of this before on a periodic basis. You all might remember the Spirit Box uh, coverage that we did, where we had a couple creators or a couple different individuals who went out there and delved into the spiritual aspect. Um, and so we're going to do a circling back around to this tonight, and it should be very interesting. So get your popcorn. If you're sitting there on the phone or whatever, please put your earbuds in so you can really pay attention to this presentation. And before I get started, I'd like to announce that what we're doing here is we're going to be looking at a psychic named Lady Zelda Kelly. Okay, so here's her channel here. And before we get started, please go subscribe to her channel over at Lady Zelda Kelly. Okay, you'll find her channel fascinating. And if you're interested at all in her work, please go and check her out, subscribe to her channel, and enjoy her content. And we're going to preview some of her content tonight so that you guys interested in the Delphi case will have an idea of some of what she managed to touch upon, because it was highly, highly it was deep and interesting. Okay. So we'll get started here, and let's see. We're going to pull up this one now. I want to say I almost have to go to the channel. Let me try to get you a date on this so that you understand. Let's see. Okay, this was this first segment we're going to look at. Let's see if I can get a date on this. Okay, there we go. October 2024. Okay, so we're going to jump all the way back to October of 2024, and we're going to take a look at Lady Zelda's reading from October 2024, and then we're gonna move on forward. But here we go.
Welcome to another episode of Seeing Crime. Hello there, my friends. Welcome. This is Zelda Kelly, and wow, this is going to be kind of an emotional reading, but at the same time, I want this to be very informative for you. I'm going to say right up front, there may be some trigger warnings. And so if details of a case bother you, I invite you to just kind of skip over this one. I love you. It's okay. Skip over it, come back with the next one. We're reading today on the two young ladies from Delphi, Indiana, Abby Williams and Libby German. These two ladies were unalived near a railroad track, and it was very gruesome. And I'm not going to get into the details of the case because, well, I'm going to leave that up to the wonderful legal minds that we have out there. And I want to invite you to jump on over to attorney Melanie Little's channel. She is doing a fantastic job of explanations, as well as many others. But she was going through some of the court documents today that I saw, and I'll tell you, it really helps us to put things into perspective, since this case is not allowed to be televised. Can you imagine? I didn't think that we could get any worse than the Karen Reed case, but I guess that's what I get for thinking. This just seems to be so suspect. I have to be careful of what I say. So with that, I'm just going to say this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not law enforcement. I'm here because I have an opinion, and I'm here because I'm a card reader, and I read the cards, and I want to just maybe see if we can get some guidance and direction for this case. They have incarcerated a gentleman by the name of Richard Allen. I am suspect about that particular situation as well. We're going to see if he comes up. But before we get started, I want to give you the birthdays of Miss Abby and Miss Libby. I'm going to give you their corresponding zodiac cards, and if they come up in the reading, that's great. If they don't, that's great. We're still going to read for them. But I'm going to also explain some of the positions that they were in. Well, let's just get started. And thank you so much for being here. Please do me a favor, subscribe and hit the like button because it really helps me. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you so much. We profile high crime cases, and we just need to get our opinions out there. And you're more than welcome to put your opinion in the chat. But I'm also going to say this. Please be cautious about being snarky or being out of hand, because if YouTube doesn't block you, I probably will. And I know many of you, 99.9% are not like that, but I just have to say that because this case is so important, and these two young ladies suffered at the hands of some evil monster. And I just want to say that for them. Okay, so Miss Abby Williams was born June 23rd, and I'm going to say this is her significator card. She is the card of the Chariot. This is for Cancer, the zodiac sign of Cancer. She takes on this charioteer, being able to be guide and direct, and all these wonderful attributes of this particular card. Now, Miss Libby is a Capricorn. She was born December 27th, and I'm going to say this, okay? I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to put the brakes on. This has nothing to do with what she went through. In fact, I'm going to tell you I hate this. My son is a Capricorn. Many other people are Capricorns that I know and love, and that does not mean that they are this or that this is involved or any of these sort of things. It just is the name of the card. In fact, this isn't even really a devil. This is a Baphomet. And I want you also to know that these two young ladies, in my opinion, as far as the tarot readings are concerned, if they came to me, I would not read for them. Why? I do not read for young people that are under the age of 16, and between 16 and 18 is iffy. And the reason why is because they haven't reached a true age of accountability yet, and they have not been able to form their personalities or just really gotten into their own personal groove. So with that being said, just know that I love Capricorns. I know you do too. Many of you are Capricorn, and I love the signs of Cancer too. So this is a water element. This is an earth element. We're going to go there. And I think that means something in this as we go forward. All right. Here we go, my darlings. Today we have the Kipper deck. We're laying out the foundation. With this deck, now I have the Vintage Tarot, and then I have this fire element. I know you all have seen it if you're here, that I think we're going to get some really good meanings and some direction from. But, pardon me, I also have this Telepathy Oracle card deck. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to pick a card just to get us started, just to set the tone, and we'll see what the cards say. The soul. Your soul is preparing to reestablish trust in the process. Isn't that amazing? That kind of gives me chills. We're going to set this over to the side for these two young ladies and bless them. All right, here we go. Setting this to the side as well. Now, before I lay out the cards, I want to talk to you about what is coming up a lot for them, and that is Odinism or Odism, which is a Norse type of religion. The tarot is based on Christian. The Norse is, or the Odinism or Odism is based on a pagan belief. Now, no judgment here, okay? I'm just giving you what I know. I want you to know a little bit about some of these Norse beliefs. In fact, if you've ever watched Ragnarok on Netflix, it kind of falls in line with not what this is going on with this case, but the fact that they believe that there is a cycle, a renewal that you have to go through. Like when there is an end of something, there is a renewal of something. But it's a very interesting series, if you're interested in that sort of thing. The reason being is because they basically believe in wiping the slate clean, and that is with this Fool card. This is the first card in the tarot deck, but the first card, being the Fool, has the number 0, which is considered to be null, N-U-L-L. That basically, you see this because the reason that the sun is white is it's wiping the slate clean. It's like a do-over. It's like a start over. Now, why is that? Well, because the cards go up to the number 10 in the suits only. It's only the major arcana that goes up more than the number 10s. And when you reach the number 10, it's like you have gotten through this cycle or a journey or a chapter in your book of life, and then you kind of sort of start over, and it depends on what you learn and what you don't learn. And that, I mean, this could be a whole other video, and I'll make it that. But an interesting thing here is this. There's a symbol here in this little knapsack that this guy has, and that is of the phoenix, which, of course, we know rises from the ashes. So there's a lot of other symbols in this particular card we're not going to get into today, but I wanted to just let you know that is a part of this journey as well. Now, here we go. Trigger warning, okay? I'm just going to say we're going to talk about some things. I'm going to be gentle about it because, you know, this stuff is so, it really is gruesome, all right? I'm going to try to describe it in a not so gruesome way if I can. So the two young ladies were left in two separate positions. Now, I believe by looking at renderings and drawings, because they're not publishing these crime scene photos because they are so gruesome, that they reminisce these two cards.
Okay, I want to jump in here and just reiterate what she's saying here. You remember, she says she's only seen the sketches of the crime scene or the drawings of the crime scene. She hasn't seen the actual photos, but those of us who have seen the photos, it's absolutely certain that this is what we're looking at, okay? Like there's zero question that what we're looking at is the posing of Abby and Libby are identical to these cards, however mirrored, okay? Almost as if the person was seeing from the perspective of the victim. Side issue. Maybe I'll pull something up in a moment, but I just want to get everyone to agree so we can all come to a point of agreement. She's not speculating here. This is certain. Okay, this is certain that these victims, Abby and Libby, are posed absolutely like both of these cards. There's zero doubt.
Now, there is a connection between the tarot and runes, which I do believe that they have some runes also that was positioned on them as twigs.
Okay, another thing I want to say is this aspect that she's about to dive into is extremely fascinating. So those of you in the chat and watching on the replay, pay good attention here, because she gets into this connection between runes and the tarot, and it's absolutely fascinating. It's nothing I knew before. So I actually learned a lot here, and I would encourage everyone to pay close attention to what she's going to say about the runes in association with the tarot here.
This particular magician card is a position in which Miss Libby was put in, sort of, kinda, as they say. She had twigs over top of her, but she had one arm up and one arm down and more or less looking to the side. Now, this card doesn't do that. But I will tell you, in the rune, this is called the Anzuz or Anzuz. It depends on how you want to pronounce it. A-N-Z, I'm sorry, A-N-S-U-Z. That is the Norse rune for this particular card. This magician card is very powerful. It means that you have power and potential. But it's with one arm up and one arm down. It's a unification of the physical and the spiritual, bringing both together. There's a saying over this card, as above, so is below. This is, when you see it upright like this, you are to use the power that has been given to you for help and understanding, guidance, direction, using all elements, because you see you've got the pentacle, the cup, the sword, and the wand here, which equate to the water, earth, air, and fire. You're supposed to use this to help and not harm. Now, I do not read reverse. That is a preference. Many do. My hat's off to you. I've never read reversed cards because, to me, well, life is a little hard to begin with, and I don't need to make it harder by...
Okay, I apologize for cutting her off. But just in the interest of completion or completeness, in the interest of completeness for those new viewers, I would like you to see a few things before we carry forward with our reader. Okay, so this is a fairly accurate depiction of the crime scene. Of course, true crime design is always very thorough and amazing, and she did her best to accurately represent the crime scene. And it's fairly accurate, if not completely accurate, but it's close enough to give you an idea of the posturing for the most part. Okay, so what we'll do here is first I'd like you to pay attention to the figure on your right, which is representative of the position in which Libby was left. Now, as you see, Libby here has a number of sticks over her body, forming this sort of rectangular or squarish type of symbolism, right? And for me, it's very clear that you have these intersecting right angles with this one 45-degree angle. And we can get into that later if we want to. But basically, what I see here is an attempt to put these sticks at these angles. But if you remove the sticks and just pay attention to the posturing of Libby's body, you can see that clearly one hand is down, and look, it's the right hand. Okay, the left hand is up, and the left hand is basically touching the base of the tree. Okay, and so we'll stop there for a moment, and let me pull up the next one. Okay, it'll take me a little moment because I didn't have this prepared ahead of time, this particular piece, but I want to pull up this one because I want to show you specifically. All right, let's get there. Get there, Prof. Okay. Now check this one out, okay? Now you see how if I flip or invert, if I flip this, you see the right hand is down in this, once it's reversed in this way, the right hand is down, the left hand is up holding a wand, okay? All right? Right hand down, left hand up, touching the wand. Right hand down, left hand up, touching the tree. That's why I put a circle in red here that says tree with the arrow pointing to it. Because it's my opinion the tree is representative of the wand, okay? So left hand up, touching the tree, right hand down, okay? Like this. All right, let's let her continue for a moment, and then we'll stop again.
Explain that this card really makes it look bad if it comes out reversed. I know many of you understand that. It's a preference. It's whatever your opinion is, I'm fine with that. It's whatever is up to you. But let's talk about the reverse. Let's talk about the reverse. So the reverse of this is being unsure of a path, what to take, what to do, that there's change imminent. Okay, so let's remember this. Now, the letter that is associated with this card in the runes is A. Keep that in mind. Now, Miss Abby, I feel, was in the position of the hanged man.
Okay, so I'm going to stop again now, and I'm going to pull up the image that I think more accurately reflects Abby's positioning here. So give me a moment here. I'm going to show you that. Okay, get there. Sorry, it's not as easy as it seems. But it's very important that I show you this one. And we've done this before, those who've been here a while. It's like my eyes are not working. Come on, eyes. Oh, there we go. Just missed it. Okay, come on, Prof. The heck? Whew. Okay, what am I trying to show you? I'm trying to show you how closely Abby matches this if you invert it in the way that I have, okay? So look at it again. So you see what I'm getting at? That what's odd to me about this crime scene here is both of them. Okay, notice that both of them are identically inverted, right? Okay, you see the wording? Look at the wording. It's backwards in this way. Okay, look at the wording. Okay.
However, the way they took the photo was this position. Now, without knowing these things, I mean, we can't expect these people to know these sort of things. What really was the position of these two young ladies supposed to be? Were they supposed to be upright or were they supposed to be reversed? That makes a difference. The letter associated with this card for Miss Abby and the rune is called Lagus, L-A-G-U-Z, or Lagus, or Lagus, or however you want to pronounce it. But she was in this position. Now,
Okay, I'm going to stop her again because, oh my God, do you guys understand what she's doing now by explaining the correlation between the runes and the tarot here? So she's saying that Libby is positioned in the Anzus, right? Right here. And Abby is positioned in the Lagus. Anzus, Lagus is what she's saying, which is what? What letters are those?
of course, this is reversed, but with this card, there's a particular enlightenment that goes along with it. Now, when you have a card like this, the Hangman means that, well, you want to look at things from a different perspective. That there's more to something that meets the eye, and it's our job to look into it. But reversed, and this would be the position that Miss Abby was in, means that you got to put something on hold. It means putting things on hold for another perspective. It means reversed waiting, but it really means the waiting time is over. She also had sticks in her hair, which, according to my knowledge, doesn't really reflect with any Odinism, so I understand, or Norseism, however, only when there is a romantic idea involved. So, of course, that opens up my brain, and I think, could Miss Abby have been interested in someone? Or could someone have been interested in Miss Abby? The thing that I think is really amazing is because their initials are A and L. This particular card was for Miss Libby, but the initial is A. This particular card was for Miss Abby, but the initial is L, associated with the runes. So if these cards come up in the reading, we're going to very much take a good hard look and maybe a deep dive. And I've got another couple of decks of cards here if we need them.
A and L, but reversed. Libby is posed as an A. Abby is posed as an L. I mean, are we getting it? A and L. L and A.
This may be a little longer than what you expect. Please take a moment to pause if you need to go get a drink or a snack. I'll try to make it as short as possible, but I wanted to give you all of this information that I have so you can really understand what the correlation is with the runes and with the tarot, like they're talking. The runes and the tarot are distantly corresponding together. Let me say that. It's two different religions, two different belief systems, and yet they connect to a certain degree. Now, years ago, I used to read the runes. I don't anymore because I don't need to. But it was something that just didn't pique my interest. That in Odinism, Odin is the god who is a warmonger, and he decides what battles that he's going to be going into. But I want you to know what I've read about this Norse belief and Odinism is that they believe almost in Christian values. Harm none. And especially that if you do something evil, you're not only going to pay in this life, you're going to pay in the next. But if you do something good, you're going to reap the benefit in this life, and you will reap it in the next. So a lot of this doesn't make sense to me, what happened to these ladies, because I think from my own thought process, and I've read and put out a few cards before and haven't really said anything, I just feel that this is not, something is off. Something is off here, because this is not Satanism. If there were satanic symbols or something like that around there, I would say, okay, I get it. But this isn't even Odinism. It may be paganism, but it has these moral beliefs attached to them. Now, let's get into this. Okay, and if you hear some noise, well, there are some workers outside my condo today, and you know how that is.
Okay, so that was her introduction, which was extremely fascinating. and pick up on what she said. Something's not right here. It doesn't seem authentic. Okay, it doesn't seem completely authentic. There's something off here. And remember, even the Purdue expert, right? Even your experts who were consulted on this, none of them could say that it was completely authentic and sensible, that there were any absolutes in terms of these runic configurations. Also, the lack of satanic symbology. So what kind of mishmash, or what's going on here with these symbolisms, or with these symbols, and with these posing of the bodies? It's off. Something's off here. And I have a theory on that, and so does Reese. You know, we talked about that before, but let's continue to, you know, at this point, we're supposed to be with the speaker. So let's put our suspend our disbelief for a moment and continue to take this journey with her, because now she's going to go on into the reading.
Bless them. It's a nice day, and you got to make hay while the sun shines. Let's just give it to that. So if you hear this noise, it's not paranormal activity. All right, my darlings, let's lay this foundation. Spirits, guides, and angels, we are asking, give us some insight, deep dive into Miss Abby, Miss Libby. Where? What is? Tell us. Give us a foundation. Lead us, guide us into what it is we need to know. Sudden wealth. Okay, that may have something, and we're going to pay attention to these numbers up here too. They lost their lives on the 13th of February of 2017. So we have a thief, number 24, sudden jackpot, a number 11. Number 23 is the courthouse. Oh, yes. And boy, that courthouse has a lot of activity. And bless all those people, those attorneys that are going there to report everything back to us. Man, I'll tell you what, that's dedication. Number 36. There is, according to my understanding, we're going to put these to the side, an active... I guess filing, I'm going to say this, because I'm not an attorney, so forgive me. Petition to bring in all of the Odinism that we were just talking about. This Norse, the runes, the tarot, whatever it needs to be brought in, the position of these ladies, the sticks that were positioned on top of them. And the lawyer says she's going to take under advisement. Oh boy.
So I just wanted to draw attention to these foundational cards here. It's kind of hard to see here, but, you know, let's back it up a bit. So think about these.
The lawyer says she's going.
Well, she's going to get into it, but I just want to point them out again while you can see them. Let's get back to where we can see them. Let's see.
A lot of activity.
Okay, sudden wealth.
And bless all those people,
thief,
those attorneys that are going
courthouse
there to report everything back to us. Man, I'll tell you what, that's dedication. Number 36.
So sudden wealth, thief, courthouse, distant horizons. Okay, sudden wealth, thief, courthouse, distant horizons. So let's listen to her get into these, because it's really interesting.
Advisement. Oh boy. Okay, so let's talk about this first. Sudden wealth. I believe there's going to be a sudden wealth of information that's going to be coming out here. But this thief card, not only were their lives taken, I believe that, and I don't know much about this case on the legal part of it, because I've just done a lot of research about this side of things. I think there's been a lot of lost evidence.
Oh,
There may have been some things that were taken other than the lives of Abby and Libby.
destroyed
The
evidence.
courthouse, number 23. Now, Abby was born June 23rd. Libby was born on the 27th. We'll keep that in mind. But the courthouse is definitely where we are right now. And this distant horizon, it basically is saying, yes, there's a silver lining around every cloud.
It's now.
However, this is going to take us a little bit to get down to where we need to be.
It's now. Okay, it's now. You get what I'm saying? And I'm going to reiterate this later. Remember, this is in October 24. Okay, the distant horizons are right now, spring 2026. All right? It's Reese Davis, Ron Logan, Keegan Klein, Dropbox Connections. It's now. You know, this is the exciting thing. Now is a season of secrets.
But I'd like some clarification on that sudden jackpot, please. If you could just give me some clarification on this particular card. Angels, guides, spirits, so we know exactly how to read this. Mature woman. That's interesting. We're going to do one more. The community. You know, I believe that there is more than one person involved in this. Because...
Boom. More than one person.
Something like this. I believe that Abby and Libby either knew this person or these people. Pardon me.
Yep.
Because if there was only one person, one of these young ladies could have ran away. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. I may be reaching for the stars on that one. The energy here is just so thick. But I believe that there is a female involved in this. Everybody's pointing the fingers at men. I believe there's also a female involved. And I think that there's others that feel the same way. We're going to see. I know the community is just completely out of their minds over this.
Wow.
Let's see what the tarot has to say. Absolutely heartbreaking. And this is an air element that is also talks about messages. It talks about different directions. The number 3 is very significant. Doesn't surprise me.
Again, I hate to keep stopping her, but I want to pull something up really quickly because this has shown up before. And let me show you where it showed up. Let's see. Here we go. Check this out. Do you guys remember when I went over to Delphi? Okay, when I went over to Delphi at the time of the the groundswell, the shit show that was the groundswell. At the time of the groundswell in November, I went over to Delphi and I missed Noe and Joe by a couple days. Okay. Because I left before they came. So in other words, I went out to Wilson Bridge and over to the Delphi trails, etc. A couple days before, and then Noe and Joe went out there, and Joe pulled 3 cards. And look at that card he's holding there. Okay, this was at Wilson Bridge or closer to Wilson Bridge. Look at the 3 cards here. I just wanted to show that because that's on my channel somewhere. So, thank you, Noe. All right, and Joe.
Let's see what lands on this theft card. Oh, yeah. Now, this particular card means the end of a journey. It does not necessarily mean it is describing the crime scene. I just want you all to know that. This card means that there have been a lot of hard lessons that have been learned. However, it can be looked at as temporary because the truth will come out. Tomorrow's another day. And the sun is coming up on a horizon, which I do believe if our legal friends that are in the courtroom, and as far as the defense attorneys are going, I mean, I think some things are going to start coming out. This is basically saying, how do we unpack this? Where do we put this information that is coming out? How do we handle that? Through consistency, but it's like there's a question of how can this be done? We have a difficult judge. And Auntie Bev's sister, in my opinion. Page of Pentacles. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean money, but what it does say is that there are messages coming. There's more to meet the eye. My question is, okay, I just want to ask this. This card represents Mercury, the planet. This card represents Neptune, the planet. However, it is also representative of water. Wasn't this near some type of stream? Or, of course it was. My other question is, what if whomever took the crime scene photos took them in the wrong direction? Can we think about that? I mean, we'll never know. But let's just take a minute maybe and turn them in reverse. Because, see, it's a natural thing to, when you go to take a picture of a crime scene, it is taught, it is natural to take it from the feet looking onward up toward the head. Keep the head at the top of the photo. And possibly it's this way as well. But what if we took those photos? Okay. Here we go. Let's continue.
Oh my God, I just got big chills. Look, because she just stopped herself. She just stopped herself from a very, very amazing point. Do you guys realize, remember that photo of Abby? Okay, remember the photo of Abby. It's taken in a very bizarre way. Right? The photo of Abby is taken from her head down. For those of you who've seen those photos, the photo of Abby is not correct. It's taken from the head facing down. It's very strange. As a matter of fact, I highly doubt that those photos are true crime scene photos. Where do those photos originate from? Are they searcher photos? It's a very amazing point. Let me back it up 30 seconds so you can see what happened to her, because she got onto this train of thought and then she doubted herself for a moment. So let's see. See if I can not mess this up. But she makes a great point.
Direction. Can we think about that? I mean, we'll never know. But let's just take a minute maybe and turn them in reverse. Because, see, it's a natural thing to, when you go to take a picture of a crime scene, it is taught, it is natural to take it from the feet looking onward up toward the head. Keep the head at the top of the photo. And possibly it's this way as well. But what if we took those photos? Okay. Here we go. Let's continue. There's messages. There's more that's going to be coming out. Let's lay out another 2 or 3 cards on this. And there, my darlings, is Libby. We're definitely going to have to clarify that card. You see, that's a confirmation. That always gives me the chills when this sort of thing happens. Ace of Cups. It's a timing card. That's interesting. Someone feeling that they've got away with something and they're reliving it as this trial goes on. They're living their own life, watching. They are a spectator. This is a card in which it means that most of the information, because you see, the swords are air element. They are connected to communication. There's water. I believe that, and the water is flowing. All water in the tarot come from the high priestess robes. And while it flows, it means truth, love, justice, caring, courage, all of those wonderful positive attributes. And it's continuing to flow. But let's really go on a limb here. What if this is Lady Justice and she is tied up? What if, because we have this water, what if these are the messages that are being squelched? There's a way for them to get out, because these swords do not go all around this lady. Her bandages on her ropes look as though they're going to be a lot easier. They're loose. She can get out, which I'm wondering, will these messages, will these things come out? Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm of the mindset that truth always prevails.
Oh my God.
Justice always prevails.
Chills.
It's unfortunate. Oh, look at this, my darlings.
Chills.
Look.
This is incredible. Amazing.
Can't make this up. This is the high priestess. The water comes from her robes. You see, part of this is, you see what's on her lap? The Torah, which is the first books of the Bible written by Moses, also called the Septuagint in the Greek. This is basically saying that there's no gray area here. It's either black or white. That's it. There's a spiritual connotation that goes along with that too, which believe me, I believe that there is a divine guidance. There's something here with Miss Libby. Did she have a boyfriend? Which one had someone? There's something there. There's something there.
Libby was talking to Anthony Schatz. That's what it is, sweetheart. Libby was talking to Anthony Schatz. Keegan.
It was Miss Abby that had the sticks in her hair that can represent romance. Kind of this little elf of the forest type thing.
Logan Holder.
Which doesn't fit in with any of this, by the way. I'm going to give you my opinion and my thoughts. And I think I'm going to be on the right track here. Okay. Okay, putting these to the side, I've seen enough here. Okay. This is what I'm getting from this, and this is my opinion, and time out here. This is not based on fact. This is my opinion because I'm seeing these things in the cards, okay? So I just want you to know that. Do your own research. You can come to your own opinion. I love each and every one of you, but the idea of this is to make us stop and think. I believe that one of the perpetrators that did this, Libby knows. I believe that it is associated maybe with their school, someone that they know, because the Three of Diamonds is an education card. It is someone, and I do believe that there was a female with him.
Second time she's mentioned
female. May have even happened on something that they shouldn't have been seeing. I don't know.
Oh my God. Holy moly. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Oh my God.
Did she just repeat the Eric Williams and the Prof's initial theory? Remember Prof's initial theory 3 years ago and Eric Williams? They walked in on something they weren't supposed to.
It is someone, and I do believe that there was a female with him. I believe that they may have even happened on something that they shouldn't have been seeing. I don't know. I don't know. I do not believe that it was any type of ritual or any of those things.
Boom.
But there's a lump sum of money here that looks like it's due.
Oh my God. Oh, what the fuck did she just say? What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Bruh, this is too good.
Should be paid. I don't know what that means. Or any of those things. But there's a lump sum of money here that looks like it's due and should be paid. I don't know what that means.
Where's Four Pits?
Could it be for legal? I don't know. But this Nine of Hearts tells us that we are on the right track and to keep digging, that we need to seek out more knowledge. This Five of Clubs means that there was shared knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Between Libby and this young man, who was very immature, by the way, who I believe panicked and thought...
You heard that, Elizabeth?
He posed them to a certain degree because...
Oh, my fucking God, bro. Keegan Kline.
Who I believe panicked.
And
thought if he posed them to a certain degree because there were sticks that were put on top of them. So we have a layer of the tarot, and then we have a layer of the runes. That usually doesn't happen. You don't usually mix the two. If you were a true Odin believer, I'm going to say that, rune reader, you can in a reading or something like that, but those two beliefs are not mixed. There's something off here, my darlings. But I got to tell you about this card. It's talking about this person and this person. A lack of trust, swindled. A lack of trust from the past. A warning to not be involved with these two people.
Hmm.
Now, I'll give you what I know about the Four of Clubs. Many of you have heard this before. The Four of Clubs is that card from decades ago, because you know the tarot came from the playing cards. It's that card from decades ago, maybe not decades, probably centuries, that when you see this card, it means being in bed with the devil. Not her. So I don't want to hear that. Please don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh my God.
Because your mama card reader will not be happy, and you'll fly right out of here on your little brooms. Thank you. But this means being in bed with the devil. You've heard that expression. Doing things you
the
ain't
young man.
supposed to be doing.
The young man.
Being in bed with the devil. Now, why does it say that? If you look down upon this card and you think of Renaissance, let's just say that. You know those great big canopy beds with the 4 poster beds that were just gorgeous. That is reminiscent of this. There's something up here. This is a young, and I'm going to say, can I say it? Yes, I can say it. In my opinion, this is a cover-up. In my opinion, they have the wrong person. In my opinion, there's going to be more coming out. There's more to be told. In my opinion, the ACLU should be called in this case as well, just like with Karen Reed. In my opinion, Mr. Richard Allen did not do this, in my opinion. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm just going to say that.
Holy moly. Holy moly. Holy moly. The Jack of Hearts here, the young man who posed the bodies when he freaked out, who was communicating with Libby. She was in bed with the devil. And there's this female. Amazing.
Let's get one more card from the House of Zelda deck. A man. We know it was a man. Tell us more. So the man did the unaliving. Maybe the woman held them. I don't know. There is a female there. Unexpected news. Yes. I believe that things will be coming out the way I'm convinced of that. Travel. That's interesting. You see the map here. Maybe we need to take another big look at this map. And the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. So,
wow. A man, unexpected news, travel. The pieces are coming together.
So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and enduring this long, lengthy reading, but I do believe that it is definitely due. And I wanted to share what I know. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. I think there's something off. Dear Libby and Abby, I do believe there's something off for these two ladies. And the fact that, I mean, this is just so bloody heartbreaking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Abby and Libby, tell me what you think. We may just have to start out at ground zero to figure this one out. I'll keep sending videos, my darlings. Thanks so much for being here. I really love and appreciate you. Be watchmen. Be careful. And I'll see you again very, very soon. Thanks so much for being here. And bye for now.
Travel. Remember that both Reese and Noe's whistleblower that he just spoke with in the past several months both said the plan was to travel to Vegas and to take those girls out of state. Remember, the first plan was to bring Libby out of state. When that failed, they were stuck with Abby, locked in a bathroom, allegedly. And the plan was then to take her out of state, but they were trapped by the roadblocks. I don't know. And this is Lady Zelda Kelly over at Lady Zelda Kelly. Now it gets worse, okay? As I've mentioned so many times, this is Delphi. It always gets worse. It's a cover-up. So we have another one. Okay, we have another one. So this next one was done immediately after the verdict was announced, which was also attempted to be announced at a ritual time, as all of you might remember. If you really paid attention, there was an intention to announce the verdict at a ritualistic time in the numbers, and that failed due to God intervening with a train, right? Remember that? So I want to bring up the next one because after the verdict was announced, she came back, and I want you to hear that.
Well, here we are again, Seeing Crime. Hello, my friends. It's Zelda with Seeing Crime. It's been a tense few last hours because today is November 11th. It is Monday, and we have a verdict on the Delphi case. Now, I'm going to post after I do this little reading, my original reading that I did a couple of days ago. I didn't want to post it because this case has been so emotional that it has been literally, I feel that the jury has been back and forth, and I know that we're going to see that within the cards. I want to do an after verdict reading to just kind of get an idea of where things stand. Today we have the Kipper, we have the playing card deck, which is the fire element, and then we have down here the vintage tarot. If you're here and you're new, I just want to welcome you. I am not law enforcement. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not medical. I'm not any of those wonderful professions. I'm a card reader. I'm a psychic card reader, clairvoyant, and I do this just to get an idea of what is happening for guidance and direction. You're welcome to be here, form your own opinion, because basically this is my opinion anyway, right? And I'm here for you. I'm here for you. So before we get started, I just want you to know that they reached a verdict this afternoon, and it was guilty. And I just think this is horribly sad. Why? Well, because I think there was a lot of evidence that has been left out. And I have some cards here, the telepathy oracle cards. I want to draw a card just to kind of give us, take a breath, relax a minute, get a drink. And don't want to make this one very long. The universe, isn't that a pretty card? The universe is guiding you toward that special someone. Just let everything else take its course. You know, sometimes we just have to pull back and allow that to happen, whether we like it or not.
Oh my God. Can you believe the first card is the universe? Remember, this is immediately post conviction.
So I'm going to put the cards to the side, and today I'm reading on a white or a light surface because I want to bring light to this. I want to bring light to the subject. I think there's just so many unanswered questions, and there's a lot of that, a lot of different things. Here we are. Now, I'm going to cut the cards, and we're going to just pick a card. Spirits, guides, angels, here we are. First card out. Let's jump. The energy is very thick here. Thoughts. Number 16. What is your thought? What are your thoughts on this particular case? Do you think Mr. Richard Allen is guilty, not guilty? What do you think? Putting this to the side. Bad health, of course. Wow. What a card for Richard Allen. That certainly is. Certainly is. There we are, another one. A message of concern. It definitely is. I think this message, we're gonna straighten these cards out a bit, my darlings. We're gonna straighten them out. I'm gonna just cut them for the integrity of the whole thing. We're gonna draw one more. Spirit's guide. Here we are. Main female. You know, you're going to see in this other, I don't know what this, if this is a judge, we're going to find out. We're going to find out who that is. But I'm going to tell you, I invite you to stay to the end because I'm going to post the original video that I put out on this. So we have number 16, number 31. So 16 are thoughts, bad health. We don't make these things up. Message of concern and the main female. I don't know if that's the judge. She's a blinger. You think Auntie Bev is the boss of the applesauce? Ooh. This judge makes Auntie Bev look like it's a day at the amusement park.
No kidding.
And a lot of people were talking about that. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Number 3, oops, sorry. Number 3, there's a magician card. The number 3 of wands, the magician card. The 8 of wands. And the judgment. Wow, we just cannot make this up, can we?
Can't make this shit up. Can't make it up.
You see there's power in the red cloaks. So definitely the court has the power, the jury has the power to come out with this verdict.
And I just want to say, for those of you who haven't seen this, put your seatbelts on. Put your seatbelts on, because this one is even more impressive than the first. This one is powerful, okay? So put your seatbelts on, open your ears again, and check out what she's going to get into about the trial now, okay?
And there was you have a choice. Guilty, not guilty, or hung. That's it. And one was chosen. And it came out very quickly, in my opinion, even though they took a couple of days and that sort of thing. It's still, today is a federal holiday. Usually courts are closed, banks are closed. But the reality is this. Pardon me. Pardon me, when jurors become tired, they want to go home, they haven't seen their families, can't talk to their families. I know even a lot of the YouTubers, the influencers that have been there, the legal beagles that I really like that are there. Everybody's tired. And they just wanted to go home. Now, I don't think that that is a reason they came out with that verdict today, but they'll be home with their families tonight. And this is a judgment card. Now, I like to call this a discernment card, the wake-up card. You see those people there? It's like they're waking up. We have an angel there that is making an announcement. Once again, she's got these red wings that are powerful. And we have this little flag that is kind of this, I want to say, Swiss, you know, it's that Swiss medical army knife type looking thing. Of course, it's not. But it's a medical symbol, because sometimes when you wake up, it can cause relief. It can cause, like, wake up to a certain situation, as into the truth. But I don't think it's going to be relief in this particular case.
No, what she's hitting here is a dual-faced card of judgment, meaning, yes, we got a judgment, but this announcement, the other color of this judgment is the truth surfacing in time, which is now. Okay, so there's a false judgment and there's the actual judgment. And I think that's what this card is referring to in this particular reading.
I think when these people get home and they start looking through this, I don't think they're going to do it right away, but I think when they start seeing what the judge is keeping from them, and that it possibly could be more to this than meets the eye. They were given a very small area to even look at. I think they're going to go, oh my gosh. Now, can they appeal? Probably. Wow, that card's been coming out a lot. Wow. I don't know. I'm going to say this card, and you're going to recognize this card when you watch the next video. I'm going to just put it right in here. This basically is saying that there's someone that is close to this case that is breathing a sigh of relief right now. This Magician card, pardon me, I didn't really talk about that, but it shows that there's an infinite amount of information and strength, justice, and ability to really make a good decision on this case. You know, we can't blame the jurors. They didn't have it. But, you know, when in these types of things, you have all elements at your beck and call. You have the Pentacles, which is earth, cups, water, swords, air, and wands, fire. The reason that he has his little arms and hands like this, oh my goodness, I just thought of something. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me finish this. So as above, as is below, is what this means.
As above, so below.
This was one of the positions that one of the girls was supposed to have been put in. It was the Hanged Man and the Magician card. This is a young man, immature young man, someone who is, it's a male that is very charming and yet almost, this is going to sound bad, but almost uneducated. Does that make sense? Looking for attention, and right here we have this, and there is a girl beside this. I'm going to tell you, Abby and Libby knew these people. There is definitely a lot of things that have been hidden, secrets, maybe some things that we'll never know. I think there was a lot of evidence that kind of went goodbye on this one, flew away.
Okay, sorry. I'm getting carried away with the sound effects, but no, this one is really hitting hard right now. Let me back it up some because I'm disturbing her thought process with my sound effects. But remember the last reading, okay? And look at this one in context. And I'm going to back it up about 30 seconds or a minute so that we can listen to this again because Eric, let me let it go.
Charming, and yet almost, this is going to sound bad, but almost uneducated. Does that make sense? Looking for attention, and right here we have this. And there is a girl beside this. I'm going to tell you, Abby and Libby knew these people. There is definitely a lot of things that have been hidden. Secrets. Maybe some things that we'll never know. I think there was a lot of evidence that kind of went goodbye on this one. Flew away.
Destroyed.
Boy, that always gives me the when that type of thing happens, it kind of gives me the, This is a card that means Abby and Libby together, sharing their lives together, putting it together. Wow, my darlings, just wow. I'm going to get some final thoughts here.
Wow.
Will there be an appeal? I don't know. I think that there's going to have to be some things. I don't even know. I did not even hear anything other than guilty. I know some people feel fulfilled and that this was success for some people, but I'm going to say what this card means. It was a huge success for those who did this and got away with it. I'm just going to say it.
Oh my God. I almost come to tears. Chills, full body chills. Huge success for those who got away with it, is what she said.
But I'm going to say what this card means. It was a huge success for those who did this and got away with it. I'm just going to say it. This is a spring timing card. Were they unalived in the spring? I think so.
No, baby, spring is now. Spring is now. Spring 2026. That's what you didn't know, Zelda. It's now. Remember, February 13th, 2026. I blasted Reese's statements. It's now. The books are being opened. And they won't be closed again.
I'm just going to say it. This is a spring timing card. Were they unalived in the spring? I think so. February? Maybe not. It could have been winter.
Spring
Close
is now.
to spring, but there were some things coming out. But this right here is definitely a learning curve and an education in this. And definitely a lot of paperwork.
We're all learning.
There's been some new ideas come out. Some
new ideas.
Thoughts, new evidence.
New everything.
And yet it's been held back. Final thoughts from the
It's
tarot.
the uncovering.
Thoughts, my darlings.
That's what you're seeing, Zelda.
I'm just sorry. The Emperor. Oh, 2 came out. Queen of Wands, that's the Judge. The Emperor, that certainly isn't Richard Allen. This is the prosecution.
Look at this, y'all.
Because the prosecution had more of an authority to get the verdict that they needed and wanted. The Queen of Wands, well, that is the judge in this particular case. So this main female is her. She's the one who basically pretty much decided to begin with how she knew she wanted this to go. She thought she was using her intuition. You see the kitty? You see this? I mean, she wants to be justified in this. And the reality is that they won.
This is the cover up. She just, okay, see what came in the cards here? the cover up. So first you saw the signaling that the truth will be coming in the spring, the new stories, the new evidence, the new ideas, and then she receives the layout here of the cover up, the prosecution and law enforcement, the judge, right? And the success of their endeavors.
I mean, she wants to be justified in this. And the reality is that they won. It's a sad day for the families in every way. I mean, we're still going to hear about this case. I don't know if it's going to go away, but I think the ACLU needs to get involved as far as the conditions in the prison for Richard Allen. No matter if you're guilty or not, you shouldn't be treated like that. Anyway, my darlings, please do me a favor. Like, subscribe. Please hang in there until the end. If you're new here, I sure do appreciate you. Welcome. And I will see you soon. Stay tuned. I'm putting the previous reading that I had for the verdict watch. Thanks so much, my darlings, for being here. Let's take a breath. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.
Okay, so I'm going to pause here because what she did next, she posted her pre-verdict. And so what we're going to watch next is her pre-verdict reading, which is going to even be more compelling than these prior two. Okay, absolutely a cliffhanger here. But these cards are speaking really clearly. Okay, and you can see how bothered she is by it. But before we get into that, I want to pull this up here. Remember what the judge disallowed, okay? Let's take a good inventory of what was disallowed by Judge Gull in this case. Odinism, cult or ritualistic killing, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams, Keegan Kline, Jerry Tony Klein, and Ron Logan. That's right, Odinism, cult killing, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer, Elvis Fields, Ned Smith, Rod Abrams, Keegan Kline, Tony Klein, Ron Logan. And any reference to the investigation of Todd Click, right? This is what was kept from the jury. And remember, in the reading we just heard, she said the jury did the best they could with what they had. Imagine what they didn't have. They didn't have any of this. The jury did the best they could. And she said, how are they going to feel when they come back into the world and time passes and this jury realizes what was kept from them? So we're going to look at some of that after we watch this next segment, which was from November 9th, 2024. So let's let her continue, but please, everybody, just get something to drink. We have another little reading to get through, so get yourself something to drink, get comfortable. Let's take in this last reading, and then we'll comment afterwards. And surely you're going to be stunned because remember, this is before the verdict, right? This is while the jury is in deliberations. And while we all waited, she did a reading, and this is going to be it here.
Hello, my friends. It's Zelda, and welcome to this episode of Seeing Crime. I'm going to do a quick reading on the Delphi, Indiana case. It is November 9th. That is Saturday. And this is so emotional. There are so many mixed feelings. And we thought the judge for Karen Reed's case was bad. This one is off the charts. She would not allow third-party culprit evidence to be entered into the defense. I personally, in my own opinion, feel this would make a huge difference. I'm legally blind. The energy is so thick right now here. Anyway, I want to do just a quick reading, see if we can get an idea of what verdict they're going to come out with. Both sides, the prosecution and the defense, have rested. Most people thought something would come out yesterday, which was Friday. I don't know. We're going to see what we can see here. So anyway, for this, we're using a Thelema Lenormand deck. It is so beautiful. I have this very pretty foil tarot, and then I have our trusty playing card deck, which is the fire element. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. And I'm not lawyer, I'm not law enforcement, I'm not medical. I'm a card reader, and we go by the energy and the direction of the cards, and we see what we're going to come up with. So, with that being said, we're going to lay the base of this reading. And like I said, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible.
Y'all go subscribe to her channel, please. Listen, she's kind enough to do this and to allow people to take a look at it and use it. So please go subscribe if you're interested at all whatsoever in this. She's extremely gifted. Okay, I don't know if any of you are interested in this type of topic, but I've seen many, and this lady is the real deal, and she has a real gift and a real beautiful spirit. So please go subscribe to her at the link I just posted in the chat there if you're interested. And anyway, let's let her get on into it.
Putting these guys to the side. I love these cards. I know that you will too. I don't use them too much in the crime community. I probably should start, but they really give us a good general foundation. Spirits, guides, angels. We're talking about Richard Allen. We're talking about the Delphi case, Abby and Libby. We want to know verdict. We want to know when. We want to know. We just want to know. Give us there we are. First card out, my darlings. Now these are, oh boy. A message is going to come, and yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. So, like I'm saying, when she pulls these goddamn cards, she pulls them. Look at this one here. The message, the sealed message is about to come. This is pre-verdict. This is just right pre-verdict. Okay, so let's watch as these cards start coming.
Most people, did they rest on the 7th or on the 8th? I'm not sure, but anyway, we're going to put this down here. The Thelema Lenormand deck is read in pairs, so we're going to draw 4 of them. I'm going to put those out again. They get a little messed up every now and then. Okay. And there we are. Ah, boy. Okay. Putting these to the side, and we thank you for the use of your power. Here we are. Okay. The 4 cards that we have out here now is the message or the envelope, which you see is sealed. The book, which we see is closed. Isn't that amazing? I think that's pretty interesting. Here we are. Okay. And today is the 9th. Wow. All right. So with this letter, we know news is about to come. we know things are about to reveal themselves. And this is a card that says we better anchor in.
Yeah, here's another deal. Watch this segment really closely, because the way she describes this card right here is absolutely fascinating. It's like I say, I learned so much watching this. Watch her interpret this card here, or explain it.
We better get ready. This 9 of spades means that we need to be very cautious on allowing our emotions to get too out of line, or our imaginations. The 7 of spades means that, well, there's not too much security. There's not so much validity in this case, in this verdict. With this water, you see the seagulls are flying around, but the boat is in shallow ground, shallow waters. The anchor is on shore. We're going to talk more about this in a minute. We're going to lay out some more cards. With this pair, once again, it is sealed, and the book is about to be opened.
The book is about to be opened. The book is about to be opened. You see,
the number 10 is significant, I believe. That's tomorrow. Of course, they're not in session tomorrow. This is a success card. This Queen of Diamonds is an air element, so that means communication. Now remember, we are in the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde since the 7th of November. It's amazing how these come out, isn't it?
amazing.
It's amazing, too. The first one, I first saw that. This kind of reminds me of the terrain of Delphi, Indiana. I have family in Indiana. But you see, I believe that the jury is going to be at a crossroads. I think that's why we did not hear yesterday. Is that a good sign? Well, sometimes the longer they take, the better the sign. And since they didn't come back yesterday, but I still feel that the book is closed. Now, obviously, the book and the messages, all communication has been closed, because this is something that the judge did not want to have broadcast, and she didn't want any type of devices in the courtroom. She was very strict on that.
Blackout.
I'm wondering if they're at an impasse.
They were at an impasse, remember? Remember, they were at an impasse. And yes, this judge made absolutely sure that there was zero transparency. She didn't want anyone to see what happened in that courtroom and the complete travesty of justice that it was. And you see in Delphi here, in that card she's holding in her right hand, in Delphi, this jury traveling this road reached a fork in the road in which there was an impasse and decisions had to be made. And what happened? What happened with those decisions? Remember the card I pulled up? Let me take a pause here and see if I can pull this back up. Let's see. Let's see if I can produce this for you. I don't know. I don't know if I can. See if I can pull this up, because I displayed for this for you not long ago, and it was astonishing. The rumor. Remember the rumor from Facebook? Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Maybe I'm not that talented at finding this at the last minute. I'll let it go. I'll let it go because I don't always have to show the receipts. But remember to not take too long in trying to find this. Just remember that recently I showed you, well, God damn it, I can't resist. Hold on. I'm going to make it happen. It's absolutely necessary because you guys need to see this. I thought I could control myself, but obviously I can't. Okay, let's see if I can pull this for you. It's going to take me a second. Oh, yep, found it. Here we go. Now, remember, this is posted anonymously on Facebook, right? Anonymously. Who posted this? But listen to the words I'm about to read to you. Okay, so I have a connection to someone who was on the jury. She said there's a gag order until December, and then we will all hear so much more. Yeah, right. Now, I've been team innocent 95% of the time. So I asked why the heck they found him guilty. And she said, listen to this. The jury found out Richard Allen and Keegan Kline interacted 6 exclamation points. I have a connection to someone who was on the jury, and she said the jury found out Richard Allen and Keegan Kline interacted. They, meaning the jury, think Kline told Allen the girls were going to the trails that day. We had to stop talking and I heard nothing more. My question, why wasn't that presented at court then? Because it's bullshit. Because it never happened. As a matter of fact, the opposite happened. They could never tie Allen to the Klines. Remember, I read for you the depositions in which it was stated explicitly that they tried connecting Richard Allen to the Klines. They tried in every way to connect Richard Allen to the Klines, and they could not do so no matter what they tried. And that means geofencing. That means cell phone records, subpoenas from AT&T and the like, and the internet records. That means all digital records, all possibilities exhausted. They could not tie Richard Allen to Keegan or Tony Kline, period. But what does this person say? I have a connection to someone on the jury, and she said that they found out Richard and Keegan Kline interacted, 6 exclamation points. The jury thinks maybe Kline told Allen the girls were going to the trail that day. So who told the jury that Keegan and Richard Allen were connected and that Keegan told Allen the girls were going to be at the trails that day, therefore giving them the idea that Richard Allen must have killed the girls because he went there because Keegan Kline sent him? Interference with the jury? Did we have a compromised jury? Who fed that information to the jurors, if this is true? Is that why suddenly when you had 4 individuals who were dead set on not guilty, is that why you had 4 individuals? We were at an impasse. 4 individuals said not guilty. And suddenly they all pivoted and said, yeah, guilty. Let's fuck them. 130 years. And no one has a problem with that. Anyway, I wanted to take that detour so you can understand this card more clearly and where she is in this reading.
I'm sure they are. I'm wondering if they're at an impasse. I'm sure they are. They're taking the life of many in their own hands as any juror. Let's see what else we can come up with. Here we are with the tarot. Ace of Wands, a fire element. The Yes card. Oh boy. The Tower card.
Tower.
And the Two of Pentacles. My darling.
Let me stop here. This is your verdict. This is your verdict. Okay, this is your verdict. Take a look at it. This is your verdict. She's going to explain it, but this is your verdict right here. Absolutely heartbreaking, disgusting, okay, wrong on all levels. This is your verdict.
And the Two of Pentacles. My darlings, I'm just going to give it to you straight. This just does not look good. It does not look good for Mr. Allen. This fiery element here means that, you know, there were doors open, there was a benevolent hand came out of the heavens, and they did as much as they could. This is a timing card, which means I think the timing is going to be pretty soon. I do mean that. This Nine of Cups, you see there's this fellow sitting here. He's got all of these lined up like a little trophy. He's pretty certain. He's pretty smug. That is the Yes card, my darlings. And the fact that this Tower shows that it's coming down, it's falling down, that the foundation was not good. You see, one person is, you know, falling face down. The other one is like turned upside down and face up. And that just means muck, mire, and mayhem. And that's what this case was, is, will be. You know, I think of Abby and Libby. This just looks like, you know, it's just blown out of proportion, blown out of, yeah, that's not good. And it does not signify that it's temporary. This Two of Pentacles, they're waiting now, and this basically tells us this transitions not into any type of financial, but it transitions into an earth sign, which means that they're needing something solid. Obviously, that they need something that is going to be coming in. You see the ship is going to be coming in soon. I think it's going to be between guilty and not guilty, is what I'm getting from this. Let's see what these say. Queen of Diamonds, here we go. A communication card, and that is really something. This is either a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius card. Definitely a timing, that's autumn. You know, here we go once again. The Nine of Clubs means that they earned this decision. The jurors earned this decision. This is a fulfillment card. And I'm just going to say this. I believe the juries did the best they could. The jurors, did the best they could with the evidence that they had to work with. Can I say that? I think that's fair enough. In all fairness for them, they only saw what was allowed to be presented to them. This card fell over, fell out. Temperance. Definitely some balance that is needed. There is definitely a lot of going back and forth. And it does tell me that this particular right here, the impasse, this is also a Sagittarius, which is a fire element. We've got a lot of this fire out right now. Can you give us an indication, please, on timing? Indication. Got to be a lot of strength. It's consistent. I believe the jury will be consistent, and yes, they felt that they had to do this. My darlings, that's a prison card. It's a card of isolation. It's a card of prison. It's a card of loneliness. It's a card of peril.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to lay it out there. I believe that based on the cards that it will be a guilty verdict. I don't want to say that. I don't want to, but I have to. I believe it's going to be a guilty verdict. If this were a yes card and this were a very nice and happy card, then I would say not guilty. But the fact that these came out, they've been at a crossroad, it's been sealed, their fate, Richard Allen's fate has been sealed. There's a female here. I'm positive that there is a female here that is involved, who is sitting, if not in a court, nearby, and who has taken a big breath of relief.
What?
This card also here indicates not only loyalty, but even law enforcement. I'm also going to really go out on a limb and say that the verdict should be reached. It's showing, well, the next 5 days, there's going to be...
I got to back it up. The killer might be in this room. Isn't that what Doug Carter said? To the killer or killers who might be in this room. What did she just say? And this is about the fourth or fifth time she's brought up some female, right? What is that about? What is that about? Like, Jesus Christ, man. Let me back it up a little, because for me, this is the most compelling piece of any of this. I'll back it up a minute or two, because as she gets into this real thick part of it, it gets absolutely mind-blowing.
A big breath. There's a female here. I'm positive that there is a female here that is involved, who is sitting, if not in a court, nearby, and who has taken a big breath of relief. This card also here indicates not only loyalty, but even law enforcement. I'm also going to really go out on a limb and say that the verdict should be reached. Verdict.
Oh, shit. I didn't go back far enough, so God damn it. We'll back it up a little again. Just kind of floored. I'm floored by this section here. This is the ending of the reading, pretty much, but let me back it up a bit. Enough. Let's see.
Definitely some balance that is needed. There is definitely a lot of going back and forth, and it does tell me that this particular right here, the impasse, this is also a Sagittarius, which is a fire element. We've got a lot of this fire out right now. Can you give us an indication, please, on timing? Indication. Got to be a lot of strength. It's consistent. I believe the jury will be consistent, and yes, they felt that they had to do this.
I mean, what she's saying about the jury is exactly what we suspected, right? It's exactly what we've suspected. They felt they had to do this. Just think about those words.
My darlings, that's a prison card. It's a card of isolation. It's a card of prison. It's a card of loneliness. It's a card of peril. I'm just going to lay it out there. I believe that based on the cards that it will be a guilty verdict. I don't want to say that. I don't want to, but I have to. I believe it's going to be a guilty verdict. If this were a yes card and this were a very nice and happy card, then I would say not guilty. But the fact that these came out, they've been at a crossroad, it's been sealed, their fate, Richard Allen's fate has been sealed. There's a female here. I'm positive that there is a female here that is involved, who is sitting, if not in a court, nearby, and who has taken a big breath of relief. This card also here indicates not only loyalty, but even law enforcement. I'm also going to really go out on a limb and say that the verdict should be reached. It's showing, well, the next 5 days, there's going to be an expansion for this, but I think it's going to be sooner. I think it's either going to be, I think it'll be before Tuesday at 3 p.m. Can I say that? Yeah, I'm going to say that. And if listen, this is one of these readings that I hope that I'm wrong, and I may not even post this because there's so much emotion around this. So I want to thank you. This is so sad. I want to thank you for being here, everyone. And I just want to take one last message for Abby and Libby. Oh, yeah. Ring. Well, you know, this is a sign of commitment. They had a commitment to each other, the best friends ever. This Ace of Club, also a timing card. This looks like it really started ramping up this past summer of 2024, and now we are here. The circles are infinite, just like the Strength card. And also, this is a sign of Leo, by the way. This is Sagittarius. And I just feel that this has taken such an amount of strength. But I want to, on my lamp, just move. I don't know if you saw the difference there in the lighting, but it certainly did. That's the energy, and we don't know. That might be a message from those two little sweethearts. Do I feel that justice is being served? No, not really. Not, and I know this will disappoint a lot of people, but you know, I think if the entire evidence would have been presented and they could have seen this and the third-party culprit would have been issued, then I would have been okay. All right? But I don't think that true justice has been served here. Unfortunately, you can get mad at me, but let me know what you feel in the comments. So please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and listen. Do not miss my live tonight at 7 p.m. We're going to be talking about possessions and everything else with the Karen Reed case. There's been a lot going on with that, so come on over. Come to me. Don't miss it. Catch that one for me, please. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this Delphi case, Richard Allen. All I gotta say is prayers for the families. Thanks for being here, my darlings. See you next time. And as always, my Zeldanators and Tarot Crime Lab techs, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being members. And thank you for your support. You know I love you.
All right, and that does it for Lady Zelda Kelly and her Delphi case readings. Please do go over and subscribe to her if you're interested in this. God bless her, and thank you for that. She's over there at the link that's over here on the screen, highlighted. Really amazing stuff. And she hit on so many good points. Food for thought from the woo world. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What can you say? I mean, we all know this, right? At this point, all of this is so apparent. It's in the air. Everyone can see it. Everyone knows it. No one can deny it. Those who are denying it are either ignorant or evil. They're out here specifically protecting the killers of these girls, or they're just operating from a lack of information. But regardless, I think she hit on so much truth there, and even things that are concerning to me, which are a little perplexing, like the thought of this female involved. Who is this female involved? Was there a female involved? Was that female involved sitting in the courtroom at any point? In the area? Is she still in the area? Breathing a sigh of relief? And this jury, what happened to this jury? Why did they feel that they had to do this? Were they manipulated? Were they compromised? Who did the jurors know who would have reason to steer them in this direction? Lots of concern here. If these jurors come from Allen County, what people who that follow this case or might have been involved or related to law enforcement or the prosecutor in this place, what people from Allen County might have been communicating with the jurors and steering them the wrong way, asserting very vocally that Richard Allen was definitely connected to Keegan Kline? We know this to not be true. It's bullshit. There's no evidence. Even law enforcement, with all the resources at their disposal, including the FBI, including the ability to subpoena all of these carriers and the digital devices and all of this shit, they could not at all tie Richard Allen to Keegan Kline. But the jury believes so? Well, the jury's from Allen County. Did someone from Allen County? Did someone from the state police? Who told the jurors? You'd only have to tell one juror. Think about it. You'd only have to, you know how this spreads, right? You know how the rumors spread. You'd only have to tell one of those jurors that it's a fact that they are tied together. And that one juror would take that and bring it back to the rest of the jurors, or to the other jurors, the rest of the jury, and start the chatter. And before you know it, the whole jury is chattering. Oh, really? He's definitively, definitely, absolutely tied to Keegan Kline. Well, therefore, oh yeah, he probably did show up out there. I mean, look at the state made it look like he showed up out there and did this to these girls. I mean, we're not going to mention the fact that a lot of the witnesses told white lies, right? She also brought up the fact that there was so much hidden from the jury, not only referencing the deleted and destroyed evidence, etc., but this. She referenced the omission of third-party perpetrators and how important that was. She referenced how omitting or withholding the evidence of third-party perpetrators totally derailed this jury because it kept them in the dark. So I thought to pull this document here from 8/15/04, Memorandum of Law in support of admission of evidence of alternative theories of the crime and third-party perpetrators. I'll just read the bullet points here. Mr. Allen is entitled to present evidence pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments and Article 1, Section 12 and 13 of the Indiana Constitution that the crime had elements of odinism and ritualistic killing. And as I mentioned, the posing of the bodies alone display that fact. Furthermore, Dr. Perlmutter accurately referenced the location of the crime, the date of the death, the cause of death, the murder weapon, the symbols at the crime scene, the posing of the bodies, and the blood patterning. Additionally, the 6th and 14th Amendments and Article 1, Section 13 of the Indiana Constitution protect Mr. Allen's right to challenge the manner, quality, and thoroughness of the investigation, or what we would say is to impeach the investigation, to inquire about law enforcement's failure to consider third-party perpetrators, and in other words, unifying command blocking that effort of FBI's Greg Ferenczi, Todd Click, and Kevin Murphy. And Mr. Allen had rights to present evidence of a biased and compromised investigation. Additionally, the 6th Amendment and Article 1, Section 12 and 13 of the Indiana Constitution protect Allen's right to present evidence that someone else or someone's else committed the crime. Mention is made of Brad Holder, father of Logan Holder, who was Abigail Williams' boyfriend at the time. Law enforcement identified Holder as a suspect by February 17th, 2017, just days after the bodies were discovered. There are concerns about Holder's conflicting statements or lies in the investigation. Also, the connection of Westfall and Holder to Abby Williams. Brad Holder's alibi is in question because of 4:33 a.m. phone activity. Then there's Patrick Westfall. Patrick Westfall, whose home is near the Monon High Bridge, and who was at home near the Monon High Bridge on February 13th, 2017. Remember what Keegan Klein told Reese Davis regarding someone from nearby walked to Logan's home to assist. Elvis Fields from Rushville, Indiana, who confessed to both of his sisters that he was involved in this crime, as well as mentioning to an officer asking the question of Detective Kevin Murphy whether or not I would be in trouble if my spit is found on the bodies. Rod Abrams, Ned Smith, Tina Garrison saw a white truck parked at the old CPS building. Given that both Elvis and Ned drove white pickups, potentially places them in Delphi. Who else drove a white pickup? We know of a couple POIs who drove white pickups. Johnny Messer, Rod Abrams. Johnny Messer is a former Rushville resident, also a suspect who connects the Logansport Delphi crew of Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall to the Rushville crew of Elvis Fields, Rod Abrams, and Ned Smith. By the way, who else in this case is from Logansport? Logansport connections, Rushville connections, Delphi connections. Law enforcement identified that Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Johnny Messer were associated with the Vinlander Social Club. Elvis Fields claimed that he was now part of a group and had brothers and had been initiated. Then we have Keegan and Tony Klein. Keegan is the son of Tony Klein. He was 22 years old in February 2017. He and Tony Klein resided in Peru, Indiana. Detective David Vito testified that Keegan Klein was in fact communicating with Liberty German using a fake Snapchat account named Anthony Schatz. Jerry Holman claimed that Keegan and Tony Klein were the two operators of the Anthony Schatz account, or maybe that was Vito. Can't remember. There's so much information. Vito further testified that Keegan admitted to driving to Delphi with his father, Jerry Anthony Tony Klein, on February 13th, 2017. That's right. It's the Indiana State Police officer, David Vito, who admitted and testified that Keegan admitted to driving to Delphi with his father. And Keegan waited in the vehicle while his father went into the woods in the area of where their bodies were found. Vito testified that that Keegan stated when Tony Klein returned to the vehicle, he had blood on him. Roland Purdy further testified that Keegan Klein admitted that they discarded a knife in a river. All of this evidence creates an inference that Keegan and Tony Klein murdered Abby and Libby. Then there's Ron Logan, whose property their bodies were found on. Ron Logan lied to law enforcement about his whereabouts and alibi. His physical build is identically consistent with that of the individual videotaped on the bridge, who we all call Bridge Guy. Ron Logan furthermore confessed to Reese Davis on numerous occasions that he indeed was involved in the murders of Abby and Libby, and that he indeed did cut Libby's throat, handcuffed her, and forced the girls across the water at gunpoint. Richard Allen has a right to introduce evidence of motive. In the context of third-party motive evidence, an accused must show connection between the third party and the crime. In this case, the prosecution has no proof of any connection of Mr. Allen to Abigail Williams or Liberty German, nor have they identified any motive as to why Allen would have killed them. There is absolutely no evidence as to Mr. Allen's motive to commit the crime. What does exist, however, is the motive of Patrick Westfall, Brad Holder, Keegan Klein, Tony Klein, Ron Logan, and others to kill Abby Williams and Liberty German. This was submitted by Brad Rossi, Jennifer Auger, and Andrew Baldwin, who were the defense team of Richard Allen. Right prior to trial on August 15th, 2024. And of course, As Lady Zelda aptly stated, this judge was a difficult one. She did not allow it. Keegan Kline stated that he was receiving nude photographs from Liberty German. He stated that he and his father drove to Delphi, Indiana, gathered on Ron Logan's property with the intention of rendezvousing with Liberty German. David Vito testified that Tony Kline and Keegan Kline were indeed the individuals operating the Anthony Schatz account. They further testified, including Mr. Jerry Holman, that the Anthony Schatz account, or Keegan Kline, was responsible for the girls being out there that day. Keegan Kline agrees with this. Both Keegan Kline and Ron Logan confessed to Reese Davis that they did indeed rendezvous with Liberty German that day at the bridge, and that they were surprised by the presence of another girl, Abigail Williams, Abby Williams, and that they decided that Ron Logan would guide them onto the bridge, run them off the other end of the bridge at gunpoint, bring them down into a vehicle at gunpoint. Keegan Kline admits that he broke down or pretended to break down, one or the other, and that therefore he was intercepted by a local from the community, which spooked him. He therefore refused to go rendezvous under the bridge on the private drive with these girls and Ron Logan and whoever else. Ron Logan confessed that he then walked the girls across the creek at gunpoint and struggled with Liberty, thereby causing the first injury and cutting her throat with a box cutter, or carpet knife, as he stated. Once both girls were on the other side of the property, Abigail Williams escaped from the handcuffs. So Ron Logan cut Liberty again, according to his confessions to Reese Davis. This caused Abby Williams to freeze in fear and comply with their orders, and she was re-handcuffed. The story is that those girls were kept on the property, at some point separated. At some point, Liberty was placed in a shack or a barn or a shed, on a tarp. Abby Williams forced into the house with Keegan Kline. Ron Logan runs away to make an alibi. He discovers the roadblocks at that point. Keegan Kline is now fucked. An individual walks from walking distance to join them. Another individual drives in to join them, who happens to work at a landfill out of town. All of these individuals then proceed to move the body of Liberty German more than 2 times. Abby Williams is held in the house until it's safe to move her in the dark of night when all the searchers leave. At that point, Abby Williams and Liberty German are then moved again. Liberty German is finished off and Abby Williams is killed. At some point, photographs and video are taken, according to Keegan and Ron Logan. The cell phone activity verifies all of this story completely. Remember, Richard Allen, even according to the state's timeline, had already left when there are headphones plugged into Liberty's phone. Liberty's phone powers off. Liberty's phone then, 11 hours or so later, mysteriously powers back on just about the time that these bodies would be in their final staging. Ron Logan confessed that he burned items in a fire pit to dispose of them. Keegan Kline confessed that the individual who worked at the landfill brought the wheelbarrow and other items away to the landfill to dispose of them. Ron Logan confessed that he brought cell phones to battleground or battlefield or whatever the fuck it is to dispose of in the river. Keegan Kline confessed that he disposed of a weapon and a phone in the river. Does any of this make the slightest bit of sense to you? Lady Zelda said, the people who did this achieved a huge victory. They breathed a sigh of relief. I've said to you before, this was never meant to go to trial. The intention was to force Richard Allen into a guilty plea, thereby permanently burying this with no hope of appeal. Having the public be convinced by his agreeing to plead guilty that he is indeed the lone wolf killer of these girls. That plan failed. Richard Allen was stronger than that. He refused to plead guilty to a crime he did not commit. And though he was beaten, he was not broken. Richard Allen was kept for 13 months in solitary confinement, which is exactly 1 year beyond any human rights convention of how you should treat prisoners of war, much less a citizen of your own state or county. He was forcibly medicated. He was threatened not only with physical harm and death to himself, but the physical harm and death to his family members. And no matter what they did to him, all they could get were schizophrenic, hallucinatory delusions, which they called confessions. At the same time that he's proclaiming that he is God, that the world will end if he falls asleep, that it's World War III. He's also confessing to this crime. And he's confessing by including elements that we all know and law enforcement admits never happened. And though he was bruised, he was not broken. So this has been forced into trial, which leaves this entire thing open and which drew a lot more attention to this case. In essence, the perpetrator's worst nightmares. This was never supposed to go to trial. We were never supposed to care about this. But mistakes were made. The Bridge Guy video is too compelling. The Snapchat murders were too compelling. The incredible PR campaign that the family and Gray Hughes participated in for 8 years was too compelling. Now the world cares. And the world can see this. It's in the air. Not only is it in the air, but it's in the cards. And I hope you all see the truth is coming to the surface. As I said, February 13th, 2026 was the opening of a new door. Door that shall not be closed. The world is waiting for the true story to rise to the surface about what happened to Abby and Libby. And the world's going to get it. It's already got most of it. When is the community going to acknowledge the truth about what happened to their girls? Time has come. God bless Libby and Abby. And God bless you all for caring and for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Please do leave comments below. As you watch this on replay, I would appreciate hearing from you. I always do. Not just me, but everyone else who comes to read them. They appreciate hearing from you. And we love you. And we love Abby and Libby. God bless Abby and Libby. It's in the cards. And it is in the cards. It's only a matter of time. And please do me the honor of going support Miss Lady Zelda Kelly, whose content we viewed tonight, which was so compelling and so beautiful. And we'll be looking at more stuff like this. And I want to thank our donors tonight to the channel: Victims News on Air, Silence Woman, and ACV 5360. Thank you so much for the support of the channel. And welcome to another renewed membership, Miss Deb and Rebecca Ann. I appreciate so much your memberships and support, and everyone in the chat who's provided your input. Just by being here, you're supporting our efforts. We truly appreciate it. And I do hope you enjoyed this stream as I did. If you need to contact me, I'm sure Miss Deb can easily put my LinkedIn, not my LinkedIn, my link tree in the chat. I know it's pinned at the top of the chat. But for anyone who would like to email me, I love hearing from you through email. My email can be found in the link tree, and it's basically the profcontact@gmail.com. So please do let me hear from you. Leave some comments below, and go over to Lady Zelda and let her know that you appreciate her. And please visit all of our chat members' channels like Dirty Diana, It's a New Day, Victims News on Air, In Light in the Dark, Rebecca Ann, and Oh Hey Christina. And I'm sorry I'm at a loss now, but we have so many members who do have their own channels. So please do visit our community. We appreciate that. And we appreciate you. So good night. I love you all. Cheers. It's in the cards.
Well, in the days since police made this tragic discovery, the Delphi community has been coming to terms, I should say, with a painful reality. Eyewitness News reporter David McAnally went back to the scene of the crime today, where neighbors still don't understand how this could happen to two young girls. Dave?
As police continue a very methodical investigation here, going down every road in the search for clues, some folks who live near the crime scene, they fear that their road will never be the same. The crime scene Thursday, a place property owner Ron Logan knows well, but never thought he would know for something so tragic.
I can't really wrap my emotions around it. It's so mind-boggling. I haven't really caught up. It hasn't caught up with me yet.
Up and down the hills, across that bank now circled with crime tape, his son grew up playing here.
Never in your wildest dreams do you think that he comes down here to play, he won't come back home.
He and his friends grieve for the victims, Liberty German and Abigail Williams, both 13.
That's why we come back. He goes, I want to show you what it looks like. You couldn't carry someone up and down these hills. It's hard to walk by yourself.
We've been able to identify almost everybody else that's been on that trail, and this gentleman has not been identified, and we want to know what he saw, what he might have seen on the trail. Did he see somebody else that maybe some of the others didn't see?
The Sheriff's Department says the trail photos of a man released Wednesday have brought in about 200 tips, and they're checking every one of them, they say. Police want to talk to the man because he was on the trail about the same time as the victims.
I think they feel confident that we're going to get this guy or guys that were involved in this, and I think they're feeling confident that it's going to happen sooner than later.
Back at the crime scene, hoping for answers.
This place is never going to be the same. It'll never be the same, really. I mean, everybody will be, they'll be very vigilant now from here on out when they come down here.
All right, that's David McAnally tonight in Delphi. Now, here's another look at the man police are so desperate to talk to. Again, they have not said he's a suspect or a person of interest. Instead, investigators believe that he is the only person they haven't identified who was in the area at that time. Now, if you were in the area that day or you know anything that could help solve this case, police do want to hear from you. They've set up a new tip line for information about the murders of Libby and Abby. All tips should be called into that number, and you can remain anonymous. You see it right there on your screen. The number is 844-459-5786.